I knight you both members of the Freihiet, Sir Dexter and Sir Mason.
Hooray! Thank you. Oh, I need to knight you as well.
Oh yes.
I'm knighting you today. I am knighting Sir Oliver today
Abuse.
as a member of the Freiheit.
Come
there
see
you
if
go.
it's inheriting the system. Help by being repressed.
Oi.
Oh my days.
So, Mason, say something. Mason, say something.
Well, this place
there
looks amazing.
Alright, so anyway, so I was just testing the audio equipment. So I'm going to give Oliver a few messages and words about this lovely parliament he's made. So thank you very much, Vice President Oliver. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dexter. As you can see, we have a new parliament building after that caffeine gas leak. But yeah, it didn't take too long to build. I mean, we've got these seats, which might be replaced once the cushions come out in the next update. But for now, this is what we've got. So, yeah.
Right, so I will now get on to today's agenda. Oh, we should have some dogs here next time. So I'm very sorry for everyone that it's not crowded, but I'm sure we'll get loads of dogs here next time. Alright, so our first topic of today is my government police reforms. So I want to do multiple steps of these police reforms I do. So I have got 5 different ideas. So my first one is I want to select Alfie to oversee the countrywide police. So they'll be selected on a 3-month term by the president and the government, they will. And also the workers in the police force. I've spoken to Lucas and Ryan and they've both agreed with me on this. They have. Lucas will continue to oversee your traditional police department, the core base, while Ryan will oversee just the SWAT team, but Alfie will oversee all of it. Since I believe we need an experienced, strong and stable person to make those tough choices when needed. Our next thing is we want to introduce training courses on anti-corruption, bribery, manipulation and how to deal with situations really, so our police officers can be better trained. Another thing is we want to recruit more voluntary police officers. I'm going to say it, people like you, Mason, I think we need in the police force, people who are willing to give up their time and do good for their local community. Another one is we want to build another police station, which Ryan wants to make the SWAT station he does in the capital, which will soon allocate him that space we will. And finally, we want to make a police training track, which I believe Lucas is starting to research in, to train the police officers' combating skills. Now, is there any questions?
No, I haven't got anything. That was rather clear.
Any questions, Mason, or anything to discuss about?
No.
Alright, so even though it's not a vote, I think the police reforms, they seem to be quite popular. Alright.
Wait, are we going into vote?
No, this is just discussion.
Right.
Now, our next thing I would like to discuss is devolution. So for those, sorry?
Is devolution getting voted for? Right, okay.
It's discussion.
Oh, we should get a say in this.
Devolution, for those who don't know, is when pretty much parts of the country which we select get a bit more power. They do their local mayors or local people. Oliver, where are you going?
Yeah, Oliver, where are you going?
In protest, I honestly are hard to oppose this.
Alright, we can do a vote. We can do a vote, but well, we can do. Alright. So basically it gives our mayors and that more power. So I want there to be in the Natsaki zone, which is, well, at the moment no one knows where it is. Only I do, and it's just a bit of grassland. It will be an area which I want to give a lot of devolved powers to. There'll be a mayor's election, which I want to be held once a month and 2 weeks. This area will be a dissolved region. It will have local spending, building and governance given to the mayor. It will obviously have national government support, as we always do. However, we will want to give them more power. And the reason why I want to do this is to boost growth beyond this big, beautiful capital. Because unfortunately, this big, beautiful capital, well, we can't just recreate it everywhere, and we need more help, we do. Now, I've already spoken to him, and sadly, he is not here right now because he's having his lunch. However, for the Free Cigari party, my party, we're going to be having Tyler as our candidate, and I fully back and endorse him, and I ask for the public to vote for him because I think he'd be a really good mayor. And with the devolution, I do want to give them, out of our budget, which will be discussed in a moment, 100 notes. So is there any questions?
No.
I thought you said you wanted to vote on this.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I've got anything to ask. I already.
Well, is there anything to ask or debate about?
Well, I suppose what I wonder is how we can possibly.
Oh, you take the stand. Don't be scared.
Well, I just wonder how we can possibly fund these devolved powers when our capital isn't even complete. And if we're under attack, surely we'd be better to finish the capital and expand outwards afterwards rather than opening multiple fronts that are not even finished.
I can luckily give a very simple, clear answer to that. Money-wise, one, because we are going a new currency, pretty much for a little while, we can print off notes for no cost at all. Because the inflation mechanism is not a problem yet. So we can fund it through that. Two, the idea of this is this actually gets inactive players, people like Tyler, getting a bit more power and doing more in the country. Because the thing is, because as you know yourself, the capital is pretty much micromanaged, it is, which, as you know, like I said, sometimes stops things from going, and that's okay, because I want this to be the best capital ever. However, like I said, I want to put those players who are doing nothing really to good use, I'm going to say it as it is, really. Hence why we've also given Tyler that budget. Is there any other inquiries?
No.
Things to say? Anything from you, Mason? Alright, so let's go to vote. Oh no, I'm in the wrong bit. No, it's green.
Oh.
It's green and meant to go in. Green for yes.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so we don't unfortunately have our other Freihiet members. But I can
imagine it's a yes.
I can,
all
yeah.
properly ill or having lunch.
Alright. So I can confirm the result. So four against 6. Alright. Now there are four seats or 2 people that are for this motion, and there is 1 person or 2 seats against this. Now, because there are 6 seats missing, this vote will have to go to a digital vote the next Freihiet session because there's too little to pass through, because at the moment we've got no one here.
Yeah.
We have no. So I could actually, at the end of the session, try and do a emergency rally around, but if not, we can save it till the next session. Right, our next motion on the agenda is the budget. So I've been working on the budget a bit, I have. And this is the budget that I want to bring out. So 150 notes will be spent on general governance payments, which are basically, going to say it, Mason and Oliver, it's what you do. It's what you do jobs for me when I ask you to. And then at the next budget, you get 50 notes pretty much as your thank you. Pretty much. If I'm going to be dead honest with you, you probably should be getting more, but it's our way of saying thank you to you without wrecking the economy. Then
Yeah, the word's exploiting the workers, but there we go.
Then our next thing is housing. I want to spend 125 notes on houses in the polar region, which is our beautiful snow mountain over there. I've already spoken to people like Lucas and people who are newer players or those who need who are workers and need that income. Like I said, already spoken to them, and they want to build houses. They do, as they will get money for that. Our next one is general public investment, which is pretty much investing into our buildings around us. So, like I said, I've already been speaking to people. I've spoken to Alfie. I did. I've spoken to him, and he's willing to do the pixel art background, and he's willing to do. What was he willing to do? Oh yes, sorry. He was willing to do the inside of some of our new apartments as part of a public investment to make them look very nice. Then 100 notes will be going towards devolution, which will be going all to the Natsaki area. And then I want 75 notes to be spared as little wiggle room, really, as money we can spend across the board. Now, this budget will cost 550 notes in total. The reason why we can get away with this amount is because it's a new currency. We pretty much can spend quite a bit before we can't print out any more money. So this is pretty much equivalent to 50 notes per person. Now, obviously, because it's an economy, some will get more, some will get less. However, that's the idea sort of thing. That is. Is there any questions about the budget before I go into the next bit?
No.
Because I also, part of the budget, want to announce that we will allow private companies to own some skyscrapers and key buildings. Which our first company will be Nitro. They'll be owning some of the things, like the One World Trade Center. Well, parts of it, because some will still be in public ownership, some rooms. There'll be some of our new buildings we've got. Communal Skyscraper is another one. While some, like the bank and Freihiet, will obviously still stay in public hands. Now, because it's a company, we're making sure they serve in the public interest. So in exchange for owning the high quality buildings, they must spend 50% of their budget on investing in their local community or in public infrastructure. Now they get still own it. So let's say, for example, I want to build a railway and I want to own it. That's okay. That is, and that can count as my public investment. That's one of those examples, but they have to spend 50% of their public budget to infrastructure or goods which are efficient, affordable, or even free. Now this makes them a public interest company, and if they are granted permission by the president, then they will get that money. Well, they will get the access to those buildings, and they will agree to serve in the public interest. Those companies will. Yes, madam. What would you like to say?
Nothing. I was just.
Oh, sorry, you were crouching. I thought you were.
No, that was just me showing excitement.
Oh, okay. All right. So that is our budget. So the budget pretty much for now and the future. It is. Is there any questions or reservations?
No.
Or are we all in agreement?
Yeah.
Alright, that is really good. So now we're going on to our last motion of the day, which I will take to our wonderful Vice President here. I will. Oliver, you've got a bill to propose, so please do.
Thank you very much, President. Now, across the world, our shared creativity knows no bounds. From the Freihiet we are standing in at present to the World Trade Center, we are surrounded by wonders of our own creation. We are on the verge of greatness, and our only limit should be our own imaginations, but it is not. All of you are aware of the barrier of materials that confines us at present, and I wish it to raised, but without creating an uncontrolled surge of power. That is why I am putting forward the Duplication Act of 2026 after finding a new duplication glitch using bundles. I truly believe this act will galvanise the creativity within us all and lead us into a new golden age. So this is a new bill that I have devised in order to give us greater ability to build through using a duplication machine, but without it getting too overpowered, basically. And to stop what many of your concerns are, being that players who have more time will have more resources. So this will work like a benefit system where each player will be allowed a customised order of resources per week that is created through duplication, and the size of the player's order will depend on how long per week they spend on the world, as those with less time can't normally gain as many resources and so will get a bigger order. So the tiers at present I've devised but will be willing to alter. Tier 1 would be 3 double chests for if you're on for about 1 to 5 hours per week on the world. Tier 2 would be 2 double chests, 5 to 10 hours. And Tier 3 would be 1 double chest, 10 plus hours. Now, of course, there are some obvious restrictions, being that only items that can be placed in bundles can be ordered. Now, I'd have to research, but I'm pretty sure that means it can only be things that can come in stacks of 64, which means no enchanted items, templates or enchantment books may be ordered. And an additional restriction to prevent the bill from being exploited are that players are limited to 1 stack of TNT, 1 stack of diamonds, 1 stack of netherite, and 1 stack of golden apples per double chest, basically. So that's the bill. Do we have any questions or reservations before we vote?
I
Mason's
have
got
a
one.
I have a question. About this thing about people getting
So
like
hold up.
blocks
Can
and
I just... Sorry, Mason, to interrupt you. I just need to sort out something so no one can hear you.
alright. Are we ready? Problem is with the Berrigots thing is like the people that are on the world more, it is a bit unfair for them than the people on the world less, because right, if everyone's getting the same type of rocks and things, then there's like really no point to go mining. And also many people lose their jobs because of this duplication Berrigots. And it's also like, it doesn't feel as good just getting it from a duping machine than if you're getting it yourself.
Alright, Oliver, you
Either.
may respond.
Okay. Well, thank you for your concerns, Mason. I acknowledge the fact that this does reduce the demand for mining within the country. What I will say, however, is that the restrictions are in place to encourage players to gain more resources by themselves. So you're only limited to 1 stack of TNT per order. That doesn't mean that you can... you're encouraged to gain excess of resources. But another thing is that the aim is to free up people to basically build bigger, in the sense that the items from the double chests are only to act as a sort of foundation to create massive builds like the World Trade Center. You need far more than a double chest of resources. And so the aim for this is not to completely replace gathering resources, but to add a boost so that it's now possible to create massive structures that will be eye-pleasing and beneficial to the countries of the world. Yes, Dexter?
Sorry, Mason, can you move your tushy out the way, please?
Huh?
Alright, thank you. Alright, I've got a major reservation about this, that this will pretty much... You say it will impact the workers of miners and that. I think impact is a light statement. It will destroy the lives of those. I'm going to start name calling people. Some people aren't builders on this world. Myself, you, Alfie, Tyler. But the real reality is some people aren't. People, I'm going to name call William, you, Mason, Freddie. And we need, as a government, to support both of them. And ultimately, I understand about the resource concern, but with that argument, we might as well just pop the world on creative and just try it from there. We might as well. The ultimate thing is this world is, well, one we treasure so much, but also acts almost a bit like the real life world. There's obviously some things different, like we don't have taxes and all that rubbish, but then also there is some things like, in the real world we don't have the magic of getting these resources, and ultimately, like I says, I do agree with the fact that it would be nice to build more, but also constraints can also make us help think out of the box, really. And really, I don't think it's worth killing the jobs of miners and that, and farmers and key industries, really. So then we can, well, let's be real, kill off half of the workforce so then we can get it done like 2% faster. If I'm going to be honest, because this nation is laid on the groundwork of that. Now, apologies, this switch has... Oh no, now we're back on.
Now.
Right. Oh, apologies, just please bear with me with a moment.
Oh,
the switch has just kicked us out.
Two people just disappeared. And just vanished
Should I speak
in there.
Welsh or...
No. Let's just wait.
It's like ghosts just vanished.
Yeah, please just give me a quick moment. We are just coming back on now. And don't do your response to that.
Yeah, can
don't
do.
pick up back and forth, Mason intervening. I don't know.
But I do thank the president for his concerns, but I do.
Well, hold up, we're not done yet. It's not. Sorry, I'm very sorry.
Okay, that's right.
Sorry to interrupt your very not artificial. Your very posh statement, but.
But there's
here you go, so you can do the punching thing and that.
Right.
Right, there we go.
Well, first of all, I do thank the president for his contributions, which are always a ray of sunshine.
I am.
But anyone who thinks that a double chest of resources is going to kill the mining industry clearly doesn't know anything about miners. Because I've mined myself and know that one double chest is, as a builder, that is nowhere near what is required to build properly good buildings, including interiors. Bear in mind also that these duplications rely on us actually getting the resources to duplicate. So for these miners, surely it would actually boost jobs to gain exotic resources that we can then use to duplicate, rather than sending them down the mines to just gather cobblestone. They can instead be exploring across swamps, gathering, say, lily pads, or maybe even going to the end to find chorus fruits, or what's it called? Purpur blocks? Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But so I would argue that it actually would stimulate the mining industry into something that would benefit us all and wouldn't actually cut any jobs at all.
Alright, I'm afraid to say Minecraft does not offer many updates, and once you reach the amount of items you do, you reach it. You've reached the maximum ceiling. Now, if you're saying I don't know anything about mining, wow, I've done both mining and building, and I must say, a double stack of wood of, let's say, just raw spruce logs is not any easy footing. It is not, and that is definitely worth a big contribution. That is, and buildings definitely can be done in that smaller scale. They can be done in all scales. And that's the thing. But if we're talking about mining here, I must admit, Vice President, if you're saying you don't know what I know about mining, well, I must say, what is double stacks of spruce logs then? Say that to our miners who are keeping this nation up and going.
Well, I must say to the president that, yes, I'm not saying that a double stack of logs is not a big contribution. What I'm saying is that, is it fair in the president's eyes for these workers to be forced to gather the same resource for hours upon hours when they could actually be doing more? Creative's not the right word, but more complex, more exciting tasks. Like you say about it would be easy to gather every single resource in the game. It isn't. There's thousands upon thousands of different blocks. And the restrictions there about TNT. You need sand, you need gunpowder, which can be gained through creeper farms, but you do still need the sand. For golden apples, for example, there's a limit there. Mining for gold. Surely the president can't stand here and say that gathering gold isn't as good a contribution as wood. And not to mention the limits on diamond and netherite, which I would be willing to say you can't duplicate diamond or netherite at all, if that would be more pleasing to the population.
Now, I must say, you say we are controlling and forcing these workers to go out on hours. Believe it or not, we are not the Soviet Union. We're not a communist nation. I'm afraid to tell you. We're not. Mason's laughing because he knows I'm right. Here, people have the opportunity to do really what the jobs allow them to do. It's not a contract. It's one-time thing. They choose. Do they want to mine? Do they want to farm? Do they want to build? This nation is about where their skills take them and where their ability, but also their willingness takes them. That's the thing. Believe it or not, you can have both. You can have going out for new resources and mining at the same time, believe it or not. Believe it or not, going to a bastion is a thing. It is. And people have done that many times. Believe it or not, going out for enchanted golden apples is a thing. And that's been done quite a few times before in the previous world. We are one of explorers. We are one of miners. We are one of farmers. And we are one of builders. But that doesn't mean we should prioritise one over the others. And ultimately, you say about cutting back, that's the thing. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to, again, sorry to point people out. Sometimes, I'm going to use Freddy as an example. Sometimes he might just want to do mining. Sometimes he might want to do exploring. He might want to do a bit of both sometimes, and that's okay. It's about letting the jobs market allow that instead of trying to regulate, do this super big task of doing this whole regulation thing for, well, pretty much benefits for doing nothing really, because people selling resources. Alfie's got a shop over there. He's got a shop. He's going to sell things with the cigar notes, things you can buy with your resources. Well, once that machine's there, what's the point, to be honest? And I know you say there's limits in that, but still, there's something called market demand, really.
Thank you, President, but I will not take lectures over the economy when, just at the end of last week, where was the white concrete to build the apartment? That you talk about the mining industry. I'm not being funny. Yes, those players who do mine do matter, but what happens when they're not there? You know, you can't all of a sudden say to these players that their efforts can be sufficient all of the time, because through no fault of their own, they can't just be summoned any time of any day to gain resources.
With that logic, we should just be putting the world on creative mode when we've not got enough builders. So we might as well just put the world on creative mode using your logic.
I'm not saying that at all. The point, but there's a completely different logic to putting it on creative to gaining, say, a double chest of resources that you have to split between building, economy, defence. it's a completely different thing, and until the president realises that, I cannot serve under a government that just gallivants around making pathetic excuses for the people that he claims to represent.
Well, actually, thank you. The government is actually we're trying to serve the people. Really, you attack us on the economy. May I just remind you, at the end of April, we had the cabin gas leakage. Everything was gone, utter gone. We've built this. We've built the One World Trade Center. We've built the bank. We've built people's homes. We've built the shops for people to host their things in. Our country is still in recovery. Our country is still in repair. We've gone so far. How are you expecting us to get a magic more resources? We have used tons of resources. We've done it fast. There's different phases. Sometimes there might be problems, but that doesn't mean we should always just take the easy way, but could be the selfish way out. Because ultimately, this is the best country to live in, like it or not. And this is the country where people thrive, really, and we're setting up the institutions, that the police, right, the place we're in and now. We are using pretty much the fastest recovery we ever have. We've pretty much done 60 or 70% of the capital within 3 months, which took us 12 months last year, and we didn't even finish it by the time the world went. So you can attack me on the economy as you like, really, but our economy is still in repair, and I would say we're doing a pretty good job at it, because people's actually having homes, people are having shops, people are having places, and soon people will have things to enjoy in the country, and honestly, that's what people like. They do, and like I said, going back to the miners, this government is about the workers. We're about the workers, we're about the shops, we're about the people. We want to serve all, not one group. We do.
Can I just say to the president, you say we built the World Trade Center. May you remind us who was it that built the World Trade Center, or who decorated the interior of the Freihiet, or who built the houses? Because it was a joint effort, but at the same time, I'm about to resign as vice president and leave the country. Once I'm gone, and I mean, Mason could, well, I'm pretty sure will have his own country to govern as well at some point. Who else was it? Tyler's going to have his own place to govern.
No, he's devolved.
Yes, but a devolved place to manage himself. There's talks of Alfie gaining an independent country. You talk about the miners. What happens when they've all left?
Believe it or not, there's something called an agreement, and there's something called people want to stay in the country. We've already got 4 people want to stay in the country, and believe it or not, this is people's homes. These are people. Maybe people like you may not care as much leaving the country. I don't know. Some people will. That's the thing. Some people always call this their home and their country their second home almost. And you say the stuff about the One World Trade Center, and I want to thank you for that. But can I just remind you who provided you the resources for it? Who provided you the opportunity for it? But say, thank you for doing it, but it certainly was a team effort, it was. And I'm going to say it, Mason has had a massive, massive part in these resources. And to be honest, under your plans, he's going to be jobless. He's going to have no money. He will have no purpose, let's be real, on the world. And Mason, you have built a few things in your time, and I'll let you speak for yourself in a minute. But I'm going to be dead honest with you. You're a bit more of a pain to let you build than to mine, and I don't. And well, you've said to me before you found building a pain, and you rather get the resources instead, and you got the resources for us. That's how you got the things. You did. And yes, there will be constraints sometimes. Yes, there will be maybe even backlog sometimes. Yes. But like I said, it doesn't mean we should take the easy, selfish way out. And I'll let you... Do you want to say something, Mason?
Yeah.
Right, hold up. Let me just...
Okay. The other problem is, as well, is like, what about the people that want simpler jobs? What if they don't want to go hundreds, thousand blocks away to do one job when they can just work here, just doing mining in the country, which will be much more easier than doing more compressed jobs, and for what, an extra 5-10 notes as well. As like some people like me prefer to do simpler jobs like mining for resources than doing more complicated jobs like building like the World Trade Center and things like that, since obviously most people in the world are not good builders, unlike you, Oliver, mainly, and other people in the world. Some people are good builders, some people are good miners, and some people have like more patience to mine for like a couple of hours, and they don't mind that. I don't mind. I don't mind to like bit mine for like cobblestone, sand, wood, and things like that. And if the duplication thing comes up, then what type of job would I have instead from building? And also, since I'm bad at building, that basically leaves me with no jobs.
May I remind Mason that yes, I appreciate his concerns. Might I also add the point that this double chest will be about, for most players, 1 or 2. But the amount of double chests required in a country to build, I mean, where we have the concrete alone, where we have where Miss Tilly's will be, there must be at least 50 double chests lying around. So Mason will not be out of a job. The duplication will handle about, I'd say, between 5 and 10% of the work. And the party opposite has mentioned about the amount that, say, a double chest full of wood would contribute. You're going to have to split it between the resources that a country needs. Off the top of my head, stone, concrete, logs, glass. What else? Lanterns. Lanterns is a big one. Plus interior resources. Looking at a double chest, that would be about 8 or 9 stacks of logs. And I've seen from Mason's contributions that he can easily contribute at least triple that in resource gathering. So it will not replace Mason at all. It will only provide a booster, and not to mention, it could also provide resources for mining. Mining costs pickaxes, torches, coal, sticks for the torches, iron for water buckets. I'm sure Mason knows that when trying to mine, breaking into a cave, needing a water bucket to get out will contribute towards that. What else is there? Yeah, those resources that are required for mining would be contributed as well. So if anything, surely it would boost the mining industry so that they have the resources they need, and that the leaders can make best use of their time, safe in the knowledge that the miners have all the resources that they require to complete their job, and could potentially quadruple the amount that's the 2 double chests originally contributed.
Well, I just want to say, for a start, when this government has already been stacking up on, I'm going to say it, quite a few netherite tools. Believe it or not, it's faster to mine with netherite tools than not, and those will be used for our fantastic miners. I'm not one of statistics, I'm one of real. You say it's going to be 5%, 10 increase for Mason's job. Let's be real here. Whatever statistics they never really apply. They don't. He will lose his job, he will, or worst case scenario, he will have no utter money left to spend. He won't. That will mean a quarter, a half, whoever decides they want to mine it or not, of the economy will be inactive. They will. And we're just giving these benefits for free, pretty much. Like I said, this doesn't just affect the miners. This affects the shop owners. They do. The people who sell the resources. People like Alfie. You say the split between all these different things. Every block counts. It does. Every single block counts for these shop owners and miners. These do. I'm going to say it, Alfie, if this happens, he's not going to get any customers. He's not. As these plans go, because we're just going to hand out these free benefits pretty much. And by then, what is the point of the Sagari note? And then by then, what is the point of getting notes? So that is my closing statement, that is, because ultimately my government and my party and this country is for all workers, for the builders, the miners, the shopkeepers, the farmers, everything.